In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to stay motivated and not give up. It's Tobey here from Training Business Pros. Thanks once again for joining me. The concept of motivation is pretty clear. You cannot motivate from without, you have to motivate from within. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 really powerful strategies on how to be perpetually motivated. Each of these 7 are important, so please stick around to the end because by the time you finish this video, you'll have a pretty clear understanding of how to become intrinsically motivated, which means motivated from within. Let's get started. All right, so today we're talking about how to stay motivated and not give up. And I've got 7 things to share with you that are really important. So please stick around to the end because motivation is one of those things that you absolutely need in life to keep going. So the first one is you need a clear reason why. So let's say you've chosen a specific destination. And of course, the clearer that destination is, the better it will be for you. Because if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And when you pick that destination, you have to have a clear understanding of why you're doing that. For example, I'm going to start a business and I want to be successful. Why am I doing that? And of course, the more clear you are on the reason why you're doing that, is it for your own benefit? Is it for the benefit of others? What is the reason why you're doing it? And that brings us to number 2, which is you need to picture yourself in the act of achieving that specific goal. And if you had that, if you became that or you were that person, how would that make you feel? That is the strong motivation that you'll find, is that feeling that's attached to the outcome. For example, in my life, one of the main goals that I had was to get to Carnegie Hall. Well, never having played there, I would have to picture myself on that stage many times before I actually achieved it. And I knew that if I did that, I would feel a strong sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement, a sense of significance. I mean, obviously it's a fairly big goal, and that was my reason for doing that. It wasn't monetary. It had nothing to do with anything but just the act of achieving it and that feeling that, wow, I've really done it. I've achieved something that I feel is fairly significant in my life. Let's move on to number 3. If you're going to do anything, you're going to have to live by the calendar. For example, on the way to Carnegie Hall, you would definitely have to schedule some practice time because, of course, you really don't want to get there and then not be able to perform. So whatever you're doing from a goal perspective, you have to program that into your life. For example, you want to lose weight, get in shape, you're going to have to schedule that, some activity. For example, me, it's pretty much every other day in the gym, and I live by that. Same time, same place. So just make sure that whatever you're doing, competing intentions will win out if you don't schedule the activities that you need to schedule in order to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Number 4 is if you feel like there's no reason to be motivated at all, that's what we call being stuck in a rut. So let me tell you a quick little story about 2 frogs, Adrian and Allison. Allison's never been outside of the lily pond before, and Adrian comes and says to her one day, "Let's go explore the forest." And she's a little scared, but she agrees to go. They leave the safety of the pond, go across some grass. They eventually come to a dirt road, and it looks like a big road, and Adrian is just encouraging Allison to get across this road, and they finally get into the forest and they start having a great time. Pretty soon after that, it starts to thunder and lightning, and Allison gets scared, and Allison says to Adrian, "Please take me back to the lily pond." They start back, they get back to the road, and been raining so hard that the road had turned to mud, and to make matters worse, a wagon had come through and carved 2 deep ruts in the road. And they get up to the first rut, and Allison says, "I don't know, that looks pretty far. I don't think I can make it." And Adrian jumps across no problem, and he says, "Please give it a try. It's not that hard." She jumps, and as hard as she jumps, she slips a little bit, falls, and now she's deep and stuck in the rut. And she can't get out. The walls are too muddy and too slippery. Adrian jumps down and he says, "Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do a double backflip with a half twist. Watch as I do it." He does a double backflip, half twist, perfect 10, lands outside the rut, says to Allison, "Okay, now it's your turn." She goes, "I don't know. I've never done that before. It looks kind of hard." He goes, "Listen, just give it a try." So she tries it. She does some kind of contorted pirouette, hits the side of the wall, slides back down. She's still stuck in a rut. Adrian's getting a little bit impatient. He jumps back down and he goes, okay, here's the deal. You're going to do a full layout, quarter twist. So he does a full layout, quarter twist, lands outside the rut, perfect 10, looks back at Allison, says, okay, your turn. She goes, well, like the other one, I have never done this before. She tries, hits the wall, falls back down. She's still stuck in a rut. Adrian gets annoyed and leaves, goes back to the lily pond. About a half an hour later, Allison comes swimming by. And Adrian jumps off the lily pad, goes out and swims to Allison. He says, oh, you got outside the rut. Was it the double backflip with the half twist, or was it the full layout with the quarter twist? And she goes, it wasn't any of those things. And he goes, well, what was it? How did you get out? And she goes, a wagon came along and I had to get out. So that's what I mean by finding your own motivation and your reason why to do something. In Allison's case, it was to not get squashed. The other point that I think is a good moral for this story is if you don't choose to get out of the rut that you're in, you're eventually going to get squashed by life. And so that's a pretty strong motivator and a good story to illustrate the fact that if you are stuck in a rut, you're going to have to choose to get out. Number 5, is your reason that you're going to do something about you, or does it include others? What I've recognized in life is that whatever reason you have for achieving something, if it includes helping others along the way or inspiring and leading them to do or achieve the same things, then you create more opportunity in your life as a result, and the chances that you are going to achieve your goal become much, much greater. Therefore, that intrinsic motivation that you have is much stronger if you help other people along the way. It gives you not just a self-centered motivation, it gives you a co-created center for motivation. And that's very important because, of course, other people can definitely help you achieve what you need to achieve if they have a reason to do so. And if their reason to help you is they're going to help themselves in return, then that's a pretty good reason for you to start thinking about the goals that you want to achieve in your life, and not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of your friends, family, colleagues, community, whatever. Number 6, what does the evidence show so far? So one of the ways to keep going and not give up is to look at the available evidence that you have, even though it may not be completely clear to you. For example, this YouTube channel that I started with TBP, or started to refocus on after many years, because we've had the channel for, 10 years, but we haven't really done much with it. And I started refocusing 5 videos a week on this channel, and at the same time I refocused 5 videos a week on a new channel for Jazzmento, which is my music career and helping other people learn and understand the music business, and obviously to be better players as well. So 2 channels, same amount of time, same amount of effort, which is a lot of effort, by the way, if you're producing 5 videos a week for each channel. They have to be edited and then put into YouTube and then optimized, and there's a whole bunch of rules to follow. After 2.5 months, the TBP channel is completely flat, 2 subscribers in the last month, whereas Jazzmental has grown to 10 subscribers a day. Same amount of time, same amount of effort. The available evidence for TBP is that it's not working at all, and Jazzmental it is. But the problem is, should I give up and just focus on the one channel, even though I know that TBP is the other passion in my life, helping people understand the law of attraction and business and money and all of those things that are great in life? Should I just give up and let it go? And that brings me to number 7, because the available evidence so far isn't showing any results, but have I seen any evidence or clear evidence that it works from somewhere else? And the answer is yes. I've taken courses on how to run a YouTube channel, and I've seen from experts evidence that at the 4 to 5 month mark, there will be a spike, even if nothing happens for the first 4 months. And now we're 2.5 to 3 months in. So that's what I mean by any clear evidence that it actually works. Do you have that? Because a lot of times, 99% of the creative process is complete before you see any evidence at all in your physical reality. And even though we're starting to see evidence with Jazzmental, we're not seeing any evidence at all that the video on this channel, TBP, is not really growing at all after a certain amount of time. But we're going to continue because we know that at the 4 to 5 month mark, we've seen evidence. Now, if nothing happens then we'll definitely give up and focus all our efforts on another channel, which is in this case, Jazzmento. So I hope that was helpful to you. Those are the 7 things that I use to keep motivated and not give up. I hope that was valuable and that you learned a great deal from that. If you have any questions or comments about this or anything else to do with intrinsic motivation, please post it in the comments below. And if you have something to add to this 7 things that you think is valuable, please do so. I'd love to hear that. Thanks so much for your time.